Welcome to my channel. So I think I say this probably every time, but when I study for a lesson for Come Follow Me, or something I'm teaching, man, when you really dig, I get so excited because I find a whole bunch of these to me at least, they were hidden gems that I didn't even think about or realize about. And maybe it's just because of the stage of life I'm in. That's why you have to read the scriptures all the time, right? Because what hits me when I'm 23 is not going to be the same as what hits me now. So, and probably what's not going to hit me when I'm 83. So, anyways, I thought it was really cool. My friend gave a lesson in Relief Society about Elder Bednar's conference talk. Now, man, sorry, I can't remember the exact title. They of the Last Wagon Train? No. In the Path of Their Duty. That's the title. In the Path of Their Duty. And it's talking about the wagon train, right? And how hard and messy and nasty and terrible it would be to be at the very end. But the last ones, the ones at the very end, are just as important, maybe even more valiant than some of the ones in the beginning. And I don't know that you can compare, I shouldn't say more valiant, but just as valiant. Because you have to have strong testimonies and valiancy to blaze the way, but you have to have that same type of vigor and testimony to be at the very back, the very end of the wagon train, to know this will all be worth it. Just keep walking. Don't think what you're doing. Don't smell. Just keep walking. Get through the mess. And it's gonna be worth it in the end. And sometimes that's what life is, right? Just I think sometimes we joke about, okay, we just gotta endure to the end. And then we kind of take a step back and say, okay, we gotta endure it gracefully. So in the last of the wagon train, how are they enduring it gracefully? Well, they're probably not being a Laman and Lamuel where they're murmuring all the time. And even if they were, I think their hearts were in the right place, that they were quickly humbled and said, look, this is gross and I am murmuring, but I can't make it without you, Lord. And so they turn back to the Savior. And I just think it's a difficult situation, whatever stage you're in. But one of the scriptures that Elder Bednar had in his talk is in Helaman chapter 3, verse 35. And I don't know why, but something about this verse hit me. So it says, nevertheless, they did fast and pray oft. They did wax stronger and stronger in their humility, and firmer in the faith of Christ, unto the fulfilling their souls with joy and consolation, yea, even to the purifying and the sanctification of their hearts, which sanctification cometh because of their yielding their hearts unto God. So at first glance, they're being sanctified. They're going through this trial to get to their version of their own promised land, a place where they could worship without being persecuted, and they were being sanctified and purified, and because they gave their hearts to God. So they just said, you're just gonna have to get rid of everything that me as imperfect person might think about, and just give it to Him. So quit thinking about I'm walking through mud, and just say I'm walking to Jesus, right? I'm getting to where He wants me to be. Quit thinking about, well, those people have nicer dresses and my dress has been caught up on the wagon so many times that it's all ripped to shreds. Quit thinking about that and just think I'm getting to Jesus, right? Or I've got, a mile high dust ball on my head and my hair. But don't think about that. I'm getting to Jesus, right? And I didn't experience that, so I'm only like speculating. But in life, that's how it is now for all of us in our own ways. But that's not what hit me, right? That's kind of what my surface level has always thought about this verse. But digging deeper, it said they did fast and pray oft. So, we meet together often, right? And we're praying often as families or as individuals, as branches and wards. But they did wax stronger and stronger. And when you think stronger and stronger, for some reason, I think about like they're getting stronger and more unified and more bold and like stronger. Just seems kind of like big and powerful. They're stronger, like we can do this. We're all unified, But that's not what it says. It says stronger and stronger in their humility and firmer and fervor in the faith of Jesus Christ. But first, it was stronger and stronger in their humility. How do you get stronger in humility? How do you? It honestly, to me, sounded like one of those oxymorons, like a tiny shark. Sharks are huge, and this is tiny or whatever. Big. I don't know. Opposites. I can't think of any right now. But those oxymorons where it's like supposed to mean something else, but it doesn't, right? So strong gives you this perspective. What is strong? Think about that. What is strong? And then think about humility. What do you think about humility? It's almost like a weakness, right? Like you're soft, you're submissive, you're not complacent, but you're allowing yourself to be molded and changed, and you're not fighting it. You're not fighting it. Yet when you think of strong, you think like I'm a fighter, right? I'm a fighter. I can do this, and it's not like that. It isn't like that. The scripture says they were stronger and stronger in their humility. Just, I don't know. Think about it. Does it hit you like does it just like perk your brain, like an itch in your brain trying to figure this one out? So how do we get stronger the more humble we are? Well, we're reliant on Christ. We have to have more hope. We have to have more faith. And I think that might have been the problem with Laman and Lemuel. When Nephi, he was just as hungry, just as devastated about his wife having to have children in the wilderness and no food and have to, toil with all these pains and dust balls and tent and hard work and walking all the time and taking care of children and animals and being pregnant and all these different things. And he's devastated. He can't find food. His bow breaks, But how did Nephi get stronger and Laman and Lemuel got weaker, right? Because I think probably Nephi got more humble. We know in the scriptures he said, okay, I'm going to get to work, right? He made himself a new bow and a new arrow. But he didn't take his bow and arrow and said, I'm going out hunting, see y'all later, and just go. No, what did he do? He took his bow and arrow, probably had faith and prayer in his heart and some humility, and went to his dad and said, where should I go? Ask the Lord, where should I go, right? There had to be probably some degree of humility. Otherwise, just for me as a person, it's like, I see something's broken, either I fix it myself or hire somebody to fix it, right? Or you can call it quits and be like, I'm done, I'm moving, my house has too many problems, right? And that was kind of like Laman and Lemuel, like, oh, this has too many problems, we're just moving, we're just leaving, like, I don't want to do this, we're just going to sit here and pout. And so much so, they even said, it'd be better if we had just died, than even try. Well, why? Because they're not becoming more humble. They're not becoming more humble. They're not depending on the Lord more. So we see Nephi getting stronger from his humility, and you see it all throughout the scriptures, all throughout the Book of Mormon. Multiple prophets had talked about their own humility. Like Nephi says, I'm sorry, I'm just human, but I'm writing my best, and I'm really trying to tell you what I want the Book of Mormon to be conveying to you, right? I'm worried that it's not getting the message across, but this is what I'm trying to do. And what God says is true, but if it sounds funny, it's from me because I'm human, right? And same, like, Mormon says this, Moroni says this, like, Alma, I mean, who was it that went to Enos? He was wrestling, and, like, I'm just this horrible person, and I don't even deserve to be the keeper of the records. I mean, like, and, I mean, a lot of these people in the Book of Mormon had to become humble, like, or they chose to become humble. They didn't have to be. Laman and Lemuel didn't have to be. Nobody's forcing them. But because they chose not to be, their path was a sad one. But the people that chose to be, they got stronger and stronger. Now, I didn't say that the trials went away. We know they didn't. Nephi continued to have issues with his family members, and a lot of the prophets did. You know, a lot of the families in the stories struggle in the Book of Mormon, and that's just like us. So the pioneers, they didn't get their trial removed. They still had to walk all the way to Utah. And even then, they got there, their problems weren't solved. They had to start over from scratch, had, you know, rough years, rough times. Like, just because they were there didn't mean everything was hunky-dory, and it was the Garden of Eden. Like, it wasn't like that. That's not how our lives will ever be either. If we're just saying, okay, I got baptized, I went to the temple, and now I'm doing everything I should do, therefore, how come I'm not having this great, happy life? Well, no, we're always going to have trials. So how do we get stronger and stronger? In humility. In humility. So I need to focus on that a little bit more. Not a little bit, a lot more, because, you know, it's a human thing to want, you know, acclimates for your thought. Heck, I'm here on YouTube trying to share my opinions because I think they're so great or something. I mean, that's not really humble. You know, it's just one of those weird things, right? It's easy to forget that we can actively choose to be humble. So, yeah, you get stronger by being humble. Read it. Helaman chapter 3, verse 35. That one verse is chock full of so many things, but that was the gem that I hadn't noticed till now. So, all right, until we meet again, we'll see ya. Bye.